Okay, check. 1, 2, check, check. Alright, cool. Here we go. So, hi, here's the Chronodivinity project file. In terms of what I was talking about in the episode, in terms of the rewind section up to the project file, I have it right here. It was this particular point. You add this part in the background. But in the background, I had also put the song in backwards because you were going after the players had died somewhere back. After the players had died back here, everybody had to be revived and come back to basically. I had written it in the storyline that was kind of where it was going to go. And so I made this. And so I basically took the entirety of Chronodivinity, put it backwards. Or at least a part of it. It wasn't the entire part right there, but it was basically a good chunk of the song backwards. But so all the way back with all the automation, it kind of sounds like. And you had these parts where basically time was just creeping back in. And so I was trying to create that feeling of like you were trying to like you were slowly traveling back in time like a little bit, but it was like all of it was like small little blips, so it wasn't totally just a seamless travel back. And then we'll talk about that in a second, but basically all of it back here was just anyway, so it was that whole backwards part. But one of the cool things that I was mentioning that was, I think, one of those really interesting things was that you have this whole section here, and I was just playing around with automation, and I happened to... There was this. And I happened to be playing around with automation to kind of gate it a little bit, see what it kind of sounded like, and I ended up with this kind of sound. And it happened to sound melodic. And so with the chords, it actually matched. And I loved it a lot. It also matches with the melody, too. It felt like a counter melody a little bit. And so all of that together. Now, on top of that, it actually comes back after this whole rise section. Right here as well. So you also have... which is essentially just this whole climax section backwards. It's just all that climax section backwards, but it's literally, I specifically picked that moment because it's like, you hear the clock ticking and you're about to start the final round against Vanquisher Teki right here. And so it's also the same thing where you have this piano melody that's backwards too. Like, I'm pretty sure if you take it away from the reverse, it's... all it is basically just that part. But now, when it's reversed... and it has the strings build up next to it. Oh, whoops. That's weird. Oh, I know what it is. Yeah, the strings build up with it, and it was all this build up as you're about to start the final fight. And same thing, this is the whole climax backwards. And so it all comes together to form... and then you go into that whole climax, and that's essentially kind of how I designed the very, at least some of the, that's what I was kind of talking about with like my story building, at least with this, and that was kind of the idea I had. So yeah, that's just kind of like one of those small little quirky things I did for the whole song. It was really fun. This is probably one of my babies. I love this song like a lot. Anyway, thank you all.